Begin transmission.
This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Bill, and this is Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures, and I did it again. I decided to come on in the midweek. I've got no mind. My mind has gone. I'm just testing settings again. Got a new end cap that I'm going to play at the end of this. Probably not going to stay on, but maybe an hour, hopefully. May have a co-host here in a minute once he gets everything set up. Let's move on to the comments here and see who's here. Motu Joneser, Bill, what are you doing? I don't know, I've gone crazy. Gap After Dark's here with me. Hello, Bill. Hello, all. Thank you, Gap, for showing up. Susudio is here. And Rolando Flores is also here. Thank you for stopping in, Rolando. Here we go. What's going on, Joneser?
Bill, what are you doing?
I've lost my mind, dude. What was it? This is 3 days in a row, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm just so happy to be able to do this.
Sure.
And I just got through cutting together some new end credits with new end music and everything that's going to now play at the end of all my new videos after today.
Sure.
And, when I get through playing here, I will play that and see how everybody likes it. When the video is over, I'll leave it up for a while before I unlist it. Now, my unlisted videos are in my playlist for live streams. So if you go down and you find my live stream playlist, you can find those unlisted videos. I'm not actually privating them. I'm going to leave them up and get the watch hours off of them. Ha, ha, ha. Because I'm a whore for watch hours right now. I need watch hours very, very badly. And last Sunday, I had the clickbait thumbnail up with all the chicks on it.
Yeah,
and we played around with Booberella and all that. I've right now got nearly 300 views on that.
So the cheese worked and the mice came to the trap.
Well, look, when you do stuff like that and it works, what does it make you want to do?
More.
Crazy, isn't it?
It is.
Watching,
I also think though that there's an added danger to that though.
There is a danger to that because they may think that hey he's not providing. Well,
and we're misrepresenting what it is.
Well, that's true.
You know what I mean? It's like when you go to MTV and then they have reality television and no music.
Yeah, but it obviously worked for them because they never brought the music videos back and they kept on with the freaking reality TV.
Yeah, I'm not saying there wasn't some logic to it business-wise, but integrity-wise, it left a lot to be desired.
Well, you used a big word there. I'm a Mississippi man.
I'm a high school dropout, but I pay attention.
I do too. But I swear I'm going to get it. I'm going to get a little video cut together that will, I think, end cap this whole deal with the weird multiverse and all the girls and doing toys and stuff like that. I've got, my mind is warped, and I've got something up here that's going to really, it's going to either bring that to an end or it's going to make it even more.
Well, I like the addition to Boobarella to the show, so there is that.
There is that, and I'm going to have Boobarella actually talk to you next time she comes on here.
I wonder if we could get a hold of our boy Adam and make a Boobarella puppet.
That's an idea. I've thought about that. Now, the thing about that is I've got to have the software to run the puppet.
Oh, gotcha.
Here to do that. Now, he could run the puppet, but I don't want to put him through that. That seems a little traumatic. The stuff you do is fun. Clickbait is soul food. Now, see,
Sure.
I like Salt as a very, very good friend of mine, and he's good to have around because he's like normal viewer in my opinion. So I pay attention to that when he talks. You could do a boobage break during your live stream, so technically you're providing a service if you do that. I mean, we can provide boobage breaks anytime you want to. I mean, they're there. All we have to do is just set it up so you can see them. Let's see. There's Boobarella right there. Let's see who else we can take off the screen here so you can see. There's two pictures of Boobarella.
Why don't you go full screen on that, Bill?
Oh, you want to see some Boobarella?
Yeah, I don't want to look at my ugly mug.
Oh, there she is there, and I got this picture of her as well. Here, there.
The comments are messing with the boobage.
Oh, we got to get the comment off the screen. Okay, there we go.
Oh, I'm gonna get some stripper music going.
Well, I don't have stripper music, but I do have super multiverse music. Let's see. Let's make her tall.
Oh, that's too much.
Hey guys. Bill isn't here yet. I'm Boobarella and you are watching the Sunday Hangout on Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures.
They hang out on Thursday.
How about this one, Jonesy?
There we go. Digging it.
I don't know how much of this we can go for. I got to get a little more going on that before we get too crazy with it. But yeah, I've got things in mind that we're going to be doing with this.
Well, that is something.
CNC programmers get like this after a while. Yes. And today was a bad day at work. I'll go into this because it may be a cleansing of me to talk about this. In order to drill into metal, you have to buy the tools to do it, right? Well, when your budget is shot and the boss is looking at you with a funny look in his eye, a production manager might decide to go cheap on his tools, thinking that maybe he can save some bucks. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So we've got these half-inch drill bits that drill our main hole down into the part. And we've had some pretty expensive bits that we've been using in the past. Do a really, really good job. Last a good long time before they begin to wear out. Well, those have gone away, and the only thing that we have to use is a different type of bit. It's the same size. It should do the same job, but it's making the hole not quite round. It's an oblong hole in there for some reason, and that means when the threader goes down there to put the thread in it, that thread is thicker on one side than it is the other, and sometimes it's so thin there's not even a thread there. You know what those parts are called when you make them, Joneser?
We're not talking like a tap and die, are we?
Somewhat similar, but when you make a part like I just described, what's that part called?
The mold, tooling.
It's called scrap. When you make a part that's not correct,
oh yeah.
Once it's made, you can't add to the metal when the metal's gone. That part goes in the garbage. You just lost all that, all the man hours to create the base that you just ruined, and that part goes to the scrap yard, and you get pennies on the dollar for the metal. So yeah, going cheap is like going broke sometimes. So I don't think he saved any money with the amount of scrap that we created from Tuesday through Wednesday. And today, the quality inspector came over and showed me what we were making on our machine, and I'm like, well, I tested it with my calipers and it seemed to be all right. And he goes, that's correct. But if you move it around here, you can see that it gets bigger, and you can see right there where it is. And I go, I see. Not something that we would normally check here, but that is something that's being checked over quality control. So the machine got stopped. We had to figure out what was going on, and we figured it out. We got an old drill bit. It was worn out, but it was one of our older bits, and ran it through a part after running the new bit through the part, and the new bit making bad parts. The old bit made good parts.
Isn't that something?
My. So yeah, a good tool matters. Taps are a wonderful thing. And to the scrap metal bin, that's right, it's junk. And not to mention the teardown cost. So yeah, so we've got to figure out how to get good tools in these machines to make good parts.
Sure.
Well, all I can do is what I'm told to do.
Well, you see, I'm the packaging manager over where I'm at, and I have told my boss many times, because like I get heaters and Teflon tape and gripper rubber for these bagging machines, and they knives and belts, and he's like, well, we got this guy over here who can get you these for half as much. And I said, I tried to run those, can't run a bag, can't do it. And I says, man, sometimes good and cheap just don't go together. I mean, how much of a headache do you want to have trying to make that money you saved on those crap parts that don't make bags? As efficiency counts. Now, if I'm redoing work, we're not working. We're redoing work. We're going.
Well, that's the other thing. What we charge our customers is also based upon how long it takes to create the parts, how many man hours goes into creating these parts. That's tracked. Okay. Now, when the parts have to go back and be reworked, that adds even more cost onto the cost of the part. Who eats that? Probably us. So are we really making what will say the part costs 25 cents per part? Are we really making 25 cents per part? No, probably not. What happens if the rework makes it to where we're actually just giving the part away, because they're paying us for the part, but all that money that we're getting for it is going back into the rework. So we're not making jack on the part, or we're going into the negative on the part.
I was explaining it to other people who get put in my position or have to do what I'm doing, like the bartender and the drinkers at the bar. Now, here's the thing. let's just say for easy numbers, the bartender makes $15 an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The beers, let's say it's $4 a piece at the bar, you know? Well, we got to have at least 5-6 drinkers drinking 3 beers an hour to even make this worth being open. Otherwise, we're going backward, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you don't have enough people bellied up to the bar, it's time to close the shop.
And that I can understand the liquor store opening at 10 a.m. in the morning, but the bar doesn't open until 5 o'clock in the afternoon when everybody gets off work.
Yeah, but they can stay open till 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, depending on your state. But then sometimes on a Wednesday night by 9:30 p.m., 10 p.m. in a small town, it's deader than a doornail in there.
Yeah, and if there's nobody in there, if there's nobody in there, you need to go on a closed shop.
Yeah, you ain't paying that bartender to wipe the counter for 4 hours by himself. For what for?
No, absolutely not.
You know, it goes to the same thing with production, whether you're producing parts or producing organic vegetables or whatever it is you're producing. If you're wasting more money than you're making, you're not making money, you're spending it.
Yeah, and at that point, it's not worth doing, or you need to figure out a different way of doing it because you're not making yourself any money. And if the company isn't making money, how are they going to pay us?
They're not.
Right, and eventually shut the door, and then I don't have a job, and then I'm scrambling to feed my family.
Yep.
Now you're fucking with my money. When you fuck with the money, I get pissed off. Yeah, that's why when you would come home from school and you'd take your happy ass into the kitchen and you would open the refrigerator and start looking around in there, Daddy would get pissed. Close the damn refrigerator door. What are you trying to do? You fucking with his money at that point. Besides, there wasn't anything in there that you needed to be getting out of there anyway, according to my father.
Dinner will be ready by 5. Go outside and play.
Yeah, get out of the house.
Go drink from the garden hose. Just turn it on for a little while first.
Yeah. My grandmother was bad about that. I swear to God, on Saturday, she would put us out of the door and you could hear the lock behind us as the door shut. And don't go back beating on the door asking for something stupid like a glass of water because you know where the garden hose is. It's right around there on the side of the house.
Right. Free range parenting. Those were the days.
Yeah, I know. I was a free range child myself. There was a lot of things that we got into, and our parents didn't give a crap as long as it didn't get us in trouble or get them in trouble.
Correct. Or make them have to break out their wallet for whatever window you broke or dumb thing you did.
Right. And that usually was accompanied with a belt or some
of course, there was some sort of disciplinary action that made you not want to repeat said mistake. You know, God forbid we not do that. You know, not that I'm advocating beating children, but there's a definite difference between beating a child and teaching it right from wrong. And
spanking is one thing. That doesn't mean beat, but I swear to God that quote unquote spanking that I got for skipping vacation Bible school from my grandmother was close to a beating as you could possibly get, and it worked too. Have I ever told you that story?
Oh, but I bet you never skipped again.
Oh no. Little Bill decided that instead of going to vacation Bible school, he was going to hitchhike to Mark's and go to the drugstore and buy comic books instead.
That sounds like something I would do.
And on the way back home, there wasn't no ride to catch, and I got caught in the rain. I got drenched and wet. Finally, some pickup truck stopped, and I jumped in the back of it, and they brought me on into town. By the time I got home, I was soaking wet to the bone, and it was getting cold. And I walked in the house all draggled, and my grandmother said, "Oh, look at you with those wet clothes on. Get them off before you catch a cold, and go in there and take you a nice hot bath." And that's what I did. I took my clothes off, put them in the hamper, went in there and got me a good old bath, got good and clean, got me a towel wrapped around me, walked into my room, took the towel off, and my grandmother busted through the door as soon as the towel came off me with a belt in her hand and began beating my naked body. because the vacation Bible school teacher had already called her wanting to know why I wasn't there. Was I sick, whatever? And she beat me, I swear to God, until I couldn't feel the licks anymore. All I could do was just feel the, the impact.
I shouldn't laugh, but
Well, I look back upon that with a bit of fondness because it taught me a very big lesson.
yeah, don't mess with grandma.
Oh, no. You don't mess with her. And,
Is it sad that the whole time I was listening to that story, Bill, the one question I have is what were the state of the comic books from In the Rain?
I never got the comics I wanted, so I didn't buy it.
All I'm thinking is soggy comic books. Wonder what got ruined.
Well, it was a bust all the way around.
Oh, it's terrible.
Absolutely, and I probably shouldn't even have done that, because what I should have done is taken my happy ass to Vacation Bible School and got a little bit of Jesus. If I'd have done that, all would have been well. But yeah. I wouldn't have learned my lesson, for one thing. I'm one of those. I've learned my lessons the hard way.
Yeah, I'm something similar.
It's something to do with skull thickness, I think.
Yeah. I think I'm just stubborn as a government mule.
Absolutely. And I want to shout out Rolando Flores. He's in there happily making sure that links to all of the people who are in the chat who have channels, including you, Jones, are getting awesome. their links in the chat.
Well, I appreciate that. We appreciate you.
Did you have the hot bath where grandma tried to boil you, or so it felt like? I never had one of those.
No, I kind of like the shower hot or the bath hot anyway. I was always like that. So yeah. They didn't need to scald me. I scalded myself.
Well, I always felt like if the water wasn't scalding hot, it wasn't getting the dirt off of you.
That's how I do dishes too.
Yeah.
If it ain't burning my hand, it ain't getting the plate and the cup clean.
Well, it's not, because you have to sterilize that material, because you don't want to catch the salmonella or whatever.
Right. It's funny when my kids help me and they're like, "Ow, that's hot." I was like, man up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some tough, leathery manny skin. You won't feel it.
No, I'm gonna tell you what. You talking about hot dishwashing? I wash dishes in hot water when I wash dishes, which is not very often. But my mother and my wife, I think they wash dishes in boiling hot water.
Yeah, no, my wife thinks it's not hot enough when I do it.
And they put their naked hand off in there too. I can't do that.
Yeah, I do a lot of the dishes here in the Jones house. Me and my wife work out a pretty good deal. Like I'll bring the laundry downstairs, bring it upstairs. She folds it, puts it away. I wash, she dries and puts away, because I can't put them in the right place. So we found a 2-step that works for us,
Yeah. I'm gonna put some background music in here. I've seen Chris Tremblett does that over on his channel, and when he's sitting there unboxing toys, he has Daydreaming playing in the background. It's so soothing. I've always meant to put some background music behind me when I'm doing my show. What do you think, Jones?
I like it. Sounds like we're in the grocery store, though.
Yeah, it does.
Or in an elevator or something.
Yeah, I played a couple of vaporwave tunes yesterday or whenever that was that I was in here, and one of them was called Password Infinity, and the ID thing got me on that one. But I found out that thing is on is a royalty-free thing, and if you license it for free, register, license it, then you can do the ID claim thing where you dispute it.
Oh, sure.
And show them your license and everything, and put it in the thing, and usually now BenSign will do it within minutes, but this one here took 24 hours. They took the ID claim off. So if I decide to do something like that, it might work. I know that this one here did not get me, I don't think. Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, vaporwave right here. Puts the studio to sleep with the music here. The toy beat. Let's see. Hello. Nobody need to harden us extra. Growing up between Rambo and the Abflex advertisement made us a Man of Steel all on our own. You ain't seen shit. Do you see that video of Scott Steiner's workout? Have you seen that?
I don't think I have.
All right. Well, let's test things. Let's push things to the limit. Let's see, and also let's see if this copyright strikes me as well. I'm going to open up a YouTube window and I'm going to share it. And I'm going to see if I can find this thing because it is probably one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Let's see, Scott Steiner workout. Oh, here we go. Yes. Let's find. Oh, this is the whole thing right here. I don't think I don't want to do that. I just want to play an excerpt of the promo. Here we go. All right, so we'll bring that up. Oh, quick. On full screen. All right. Got that up. All right, get Rolo off the thing here, and let's present this, and let's see how it plays. I'm curious. Every time I try to play a YouTube video in here, streaming on top of streaming, you usually don't catch the full gist of it. But with my new extra speed, let's see what happens. First of all, let's kill the vaporwave music before I do that. All right, now. Present, share screen. Here we go. Scott Steiner's Freak Show. That's, by the way, Scott Steiner's Freak Show. And we'll put us down here at the bottom so that we can comment on this.
Uh-oh. Houston, we have a problem.
Well, I think we blipped there. Did it blip?
It did for me.
All right, let me start it back over again. Let's see how it does. It ain't working, is it?
No.
Have no fear. Have no fear. I'll fix this. Hang on. You guys will get to see how I operate over here. I am a commander of the high seas.
Aye, Captain.
Absolutely. YT mate is my friend. Yeah, I'll pull that up, and I'm going to get that video. If it'll download that. All right, there we go. And it's going to take just a couple minutes to do that while we're waiting for that to happen. Have you ever watched Scott Steiner wrestle?
Oh, yeah, like a few million
Absolutely.
times.
It's crazy. He's absolutely a madman.
No, I couldn't imagine trying to get in there with somebody like that because that dude is crazy.
I wonder if he actually wrestles as stiff as it looks like he wrestles.
I'm thinking so. He was mentioned in Mick Foley or Cactus Jack's book as one of the people that knocked him around pretty good. And it was said that he thought that Mick was going to try to take a liberty on him, and he whapped him first. And Mick said, man, I've never taken a liberty on anybody in the ring or done anything they didn't agree to, and I wasn't going to start with him.
No, I think Mick Foley, although it looks horrible when the things that they did to each other in the ring, they didn't work stiff. I don't know if our viewers understand what it means by that. Can you explain that a little better than maybe Mississippi Man over here can?
Well, sure. Stiff is a wrestling term for the punch, basically being almost a real punch to the point. What they call in the business is a working punch. Now, what happens? They'll draw their fist back and they'll go to hit the guy, but they're not really. It's a magic trick. They're pulling it back, but the point of impact, or some of them will snap their head back and it'll look like they hit them. You know, some of the more crafty ones might slap their leg when they do it, you know, or
Stomp
something.
their foot. A lot of times, you know, you see them stomping their feet on the mat when they do it.
The foot on the
and
mat.
they're not,
yeah.
They don't have their fists completely tight like this.
No, it's loose. It's the work punch. So because they got to work with each other, 2-3 times a week. You can't cave the guy's head in the match. So a stiff punch would be one that kind of got away from him, because the mantra in wrestling is the camera is going to last forever and apologies can be said over a beer backstage. And that's what they do. But, working punch, there's a funny joke. Chris Jericho is supposed to have a really stiff working punch. And apparently in a match, Ric Flair said to Chris, hey, you want to just go ahead and punch me as hard as you can because your working punch is killing me.
All right, I'm going to add this new video into StreamYard and let StreamYard play it for us. And I'll see how long that's going to take to upload, or if it even will upload. It may be too big. Let's see. Oh, it's uploading. All right, so while it uploads, and the other thing is those kicks. When they kick somebody, as soon as the boot makes impact, they don't follow through. If you notice,
right.
So that means it hits, but it doesn't hit with all of the might that would be if you were kicking the shit out of somebody.
Right.
But
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
There are some guys that were really masters of the craft that did not get recognition that they deserved, or some of them that were, like Bret the Hitman Hart. A lot of people, he always says he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Now, you could argue popularity, drawing money, all of that. Sure, maybe he wasn't the best, but when it came to making it look good and not hurting the other guy, Bret was the best as far as I could tell. Especially you hear the testimonies of him, other opponents. Bret didn't hurt anybody. He hit him, he kicked him, he threw him around. He didn't hurt anybody.
Well, I'm trying to upload this video, and every time it gets to processing, it says an error has occurred. So I am going to investigate this real quick while I talk about something. What happens if you are, I don't know, a brand new wrestler who's getting a big, huge push, and you've just come out of the, what did they call that wrestling school they had over there?
They had Tough Enough for a while, or in the old days, they'd send them to the Indies, or they'd go to
there was a House of Pain over there in Georgia that the WCW was running to
power plant.
Power plant, that's it. So you're fresh out of the power plant, you're an ex-football player, and you're getting a great big push, and you really don't know what the hell you're doing. And you get put in the ring with Bret the Hitman Hart, and you kick him in the head so freaking hard. That actually happened. That our friend Goldberg is actually who I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I think
infamously worked stiff because I don't think he knew what he was doing half the time.
He got a push he wasn't ready for. But the thing about Goldberg had a look, and he had that it factor and that wow factor. So like when he came out, I would say a person that doesn't know anything about wrestling takes one look at him and just thinks this guy ought to be able to beat up the whole locker room. But in reality, Chris Jericho took him down to the floor backstage without a problem. He doesn't really know how to fight.
I think he put a face lock on him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he just took him to the floor. It was done, But I mean, you would have never thought that was possible if you watched the show and you didn't know anything, Or there's an infamous match with Goldberg and Steven Regal or William Regal. And Regal just humiliates him. I mean, he just knocks him around the ring like an idiot. I mean, he exposed Goldberg to not even know what he was doing. And you could see Regal's trying to work with him, or he's trying to do stuff with him. If you watch that match, knowing how wrestling works, it's one of the weirdest matches to watch. And Regal later said, well, I can't smack myself.
Yeah,
he's trying to get the guy to do stuff with him, but the old pros, when you get a guy in there that's green that don't know what he's doing, man, that the old pros would tell you beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, and
you got to save it. You got to make it look good.
Yeah, you can see these things happening a lot of times if you get on the YouTube and you look up. Oh, I don't know. Whoever, Steven Regal was bad about that. He would get in the ring with somebody who didn't know what they were doing and just end up beating the hell out of them. Or one of the worst things a wrestler can do is to do what's called no sell.
Oh, sure.
And a lot of new guys don't know how to sell well, and so it appears like they're no selling the stuff that's being done to them. And a seasoned wrestler takes that as disrespect.
Real.
Yeah, it's disrespect.
Yep.
And then it's time to beat the fool mess out of somebody at that point. There was a match I saw here recently where that happened, and I forget who they were. But they were wrestling two seasoned pros, and I think Teddy Long was their manager, and they ended up just pulling a clinic on these guys, and you could hear Teddy Long going, "Beat them up, beat them up."
I'll tell you a real good one. I can't remember the referee, but he was telling a story. Now the story was the Legion of Doom, and then it was the Undertaker and Sid Vicious, but I think at the time he was Sid Justice, and they were a tag team. And so it's the Undertaker, Psycho Sid, Sid Vicious, Sid Justice, however you remember them, and the Legion of Doom, and they're in the ring together. And I guess somebody potatoed somebody, which the potato shot, that's the stiff shot the other guy didn't appreciate. The referee was like, man, one guy potatoed one guy, and the next thing you know, this whole thing kicked off for real. These guys are punching each other. They mean it. And then he said somebody somewhere in that came to their senses, and he put them in a headlock, and they went right back to working the match again. And the referee sits there and he goes, I bet you I'm the only person in this building who knows that this went from being scripted and a work to real to right back to a work. And nobody knew it.
Well, one of the most infamous things that New Jack ever did was beat the living tar out of poor old Gypsy Joe over there in Nashville.
I seen that. That's hard to watch.
It is. It really is. And Gypsy Joe, the thing about Gypsy Joe, that was his gimmick, was that he was so tough that he could take all the licks. So it was like he was no selling. That was his gimmick, and he worked stiff as well. And New Jack just had it with him and just beat the living tar. And the thing about it was, Gypsy Joe was like an old man at that time, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, what's he doing in there at that point? And seriously, is New Jack supposed to let this old man whip him around? What is New Jack's street cred worth anything? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like they should have had a discussion or something. That should have been avoided.
And who was the guy? New Jack stabbed him 15 times in the ring.
That was another one that's hard to watch.
And I showed this on the show one night when we were going down this road. The mass transit incident is probably one of the most heinous things that I've ever seen in my life.
Are you even seeing he throws Vic Grimes off the freaking scaffold?
There was an interview.
That's not an attempted murder.
Well, goddamn it, there was an interview on Vice TV.
Yeah, he said he was trying to kill him.
He said he was aiming him for that ring post. He wanted to kill Vic Grimes.
Right. And that's one of the craziest things I'd ever seen is when that guy flies off that scaffold. I mean, it's just the luck of fools that he is not killed. You know, I mean, he just hits the ropes just right and bounces just the right way. I guess he ends up with a broken wrist or whatever. But when you see the fall, you're like, there's just no way that's all that happened to him. You know, it looks
Absolutely.
like something out of a Saturday morning cartoon.
This is a whole different thing. Here we go. I'm trying to look. It ran up there with when Mankind or Mick Foley was on top of that cage with the Undertaker, and the Undertaker choke slammed him through the damn cage, and
Sure.
he fell all the way down, and I think he hit the announce table and bounce off onto the floor. I mean, it knocked his.
There are two big falls in that match. Now, the first one, well, they were both planned, but the second one goes awry. But the first one, he is planning to go off the side of the cage onto an announce table, and that is planned. In fact, if you're crafty and you watch that match, there's a moment right before he goes over the side where he does this. He's signaling to the announce table, I'm going. And you can hear Jerry the King Lawler, before he falls, go, oh, my God, because he knows what's about to happen. And Mick is in control of himself in the fall. The Undertaker goes this, but he's not pushing him and he's not holding him. Mick does the jump. So Mick is in control of his own destiny when he goes off that one. And the fall is spectacular. And as far as like damage, it's not bad for him health wise. Like, I mean, it is what it looks like, and he does land about like you can, but it goes about as good as it can go. Now, when they go back up and they do the second one, what was supposed to happen? There were zip ties on that cage. That cage was pre-cut, and there was zip tied on there. And how it was supposed to work is there was supposed to be a series of choke slams where the first choke slam was going to make the cage sag and people were going to ooh. And then the next one was going to make it sag a little more. And then the third one, where he's already halfway down, it was going to go. Now, the problem is you can hear them zip ties popping the moment those guys walk up there. And even at one point, I think the Undertaker's foot goes through, and it just totally ruins the whole thing. And then Mick takes, luckily, the worst choke slam he's probably ever took in his career, because if he would have went full height, he'd have probably landed on his head and been killed. But he takes Undertaker barely just puts him down, but he goes all the way through, all the way to the ground, and he's knocked out. He's knocked out cold. And that is devastating.
They're complaining about me max headrooming there. I'm actually
I noticed
it's a reason for that. I'm over here muxing a video and got it uploaded. We're going to watch something crazy here in just a second. But yeah, it's live, Blue. I'm good to see you there, sir. But yeah, now was that the match where his tooth went up and
yes,
out of his nasal cavity?
Yes, and he's not sure if it went through his sinuses or popped out of his mouth and ended up there. They it's like the JFK magic bullet. We don't know how the tooth ended up in his nose, but the tooth ended up in his nose. Another thing that really shows you how smart some of these wrestlers are, and Mick says this in his book, Terry Funk comes running down to the ring. And if you remember right, at this point in their story, him and Terry are kind of beefing, so they're not supposed to be friendly. But Terry goes to check on him, which of course lights are on, nobody's home. And so Terry's trying to buy him some time. So he gets in an argument with the Undertaker. The Undertaker choke slams Terry. Terry kicks his own shoes off to make it look like he got choke slammed out of his shoes. Second ridiculous sell where he's rolling around the ring. And all of this is just to buy Mick some moments to get his mind right. And then when the Undertaker comes to him and gets him up, you can clearly see the savvy veteran, the Undertaker, is kind of bottle feeding him the match. He's not doing too much with him. He's checking on him. In fact, he allegedly, the first thing he says is, hey, Mick, maybe we better go home, which is wrestling lingo for let's
end it. Yeah,
but Mick determined, no, I'm all right, buy me some time. And so they do a few things to buy time. And then by the time Mick gets his faculties back a little bit, they start working a little bit more of a match. And then you get the thumbtacks, which is ridiculous, you know. And I will never forget when I seen that, because I was like, oh my God, dude, like this, hasn't this guy had enough?
Of course, you know, JR sold that so well. He's dead. He's dead.
My God is my witness. He's broken in half. And, you know, the sad thing is, and Mick mentions this in his book too, when JR says, somebody stop the damn match, that gives him chills when he hears it back, because that is his friend, genuinely concerned for his life, not playing an angle, not playing a character. He's like, somebody have some common sense, and this guy is my friend. He has a family, he has kids. This is stupid. We need to stop this. He really wanted it to end there. Even McMahon comes out and breaks character, and you can see McMahon looking concerned. And
yeah,
you know, it was quite.
I think they were told never to do that again.
That was exactly what Vince said to him backstage. He said, "Mick, I appreciate everything you've done for me and my company. Now never do that again."
All right. This is probably going to be the last thing we do, but I do want us to sit here and commentate on this somehow, but I can't because I got to play it through this.
Sure.
This is going to be Scott Steiner's Freak Show. We can talk about this after it's over with.
Sure.
I think the whole damn video is available on YouTube from one of these places that I look. But check this out. This is awful.
This is Big Papa Pump, and you're in my freak zone. You want to work out with me? Ah, the car I didn't like. Ah. Are you losing weight? You got light on.
That was just a promo for that. Now he's sitting there instead of weights on his bar, he's got tires on it. He's got some chick on his shoulders. This thing goes on and on. It gets worse and worse and worse as it goes.
Now, is this when this is post WCW, post WWF? He's an independent now, and
he's trying to make some money. He releases this stupid video. Yes.
Right.
If I could show the whole thing and I thought I could get away with it more than 30 seconds, I would.
No, let's not do that.
I'm not going to do that.
You let people know where they could see it, and that's going to have to be good enough.
And then that's gonna have to be good enough. I'll go ahead and I'll post the damn link. I don't give a damn. The whole freaking thing over here is Scott Steiner's Freak Show, the Big Papa Pump workout video. This is in 2009 when he did this.
Okay.
It starts out with him riding a motorcycle with some chick, music playing, and
well, what a body on that.
What I would like.
He always had
all of it made steroid like a son of a gun. All right, here we go. Holla if you could hear me. That's right, Rolando. All right, here's the link. This is about an hour and 14 minutes of insanity. If he really works out like that, he's an idiot.
I'm sure it's just for your entertainment. You never know, though. That dude's nuttier than squirrel crap. So,
oh, he is. He's crazy as he can be. Those are steroid muscles. They have to be.
Dude's a freak.
Oh yeah, he is a freak. All right.
Do you ever see that? There's a fight between him and DDP that went on in WCW backstage, and it's like there's some reality to it. Like they were doing their event where they're working with each other, but they were also, it got away from them a little bit. You see that?
I have seen that. Susudio is talking about that caved in chest of his. That is a big sign of steroid use. Right. You'll see a lot of wrestlers in their older age, the abuse of steroids, it causes these muscles in here to cave in on their chest. So that's your tip off right there. When you see that, this guy's has been on the roids at some point or another.
It got kind of sad with Scott Steiner toward the end of his career. Yeah, he might even still wrestle to this day. I don't know. A lot of these guys linger too long, in my opinion.
Have you ever seen the Scott Steiner math video?
No, but I'm sure that's great.
I don't mind trying this. I'm going to see if I can find it and put it up here. All right, Scott Steiner.
I'm sure that's great. And he wasn't a bad promo man if you liked his style. But I mean, it was bullyish and he would trash on people, but it came off as authentic because a lot of the times what he was saying, he really meant it.
Yeah. Well, they used to have to cut his mic every once in a while because he'd go really nuts. What was that? The one where he started talking about Hulk Hogan's spot. Have you ever seen that one?
I've seen the one where he's trashing on Flair, and that's hilarious.
Yeah. He's talking about, old man, you talking about you want to keep your spot. What kind of spot you talking about? An AIDS spot? A liver spot? All right, now I'm going to try this once again. Paste, download. We're skating on thin ice over here. Let's just say, but I'm going to get this video. There it is. I'm going to see if I can get it uploaded. And the Scott Steiner math is probably one of the most hilarious promos that he's ever cut. I don't know if it was scripted. I don't think it was. I think he was just rolling with it. You can't script somebody like that.
No, I don't think he'd follow one anyway if you put it in his hand. He's just not built like that.
No. All right. My upload speeds are doing pretty good here. Usually when I'm trying to upload something like this, it takes a lot longer. And let's see if it'll process without killing it.
Stone Cold was
not going to process. God dog it. Let me try a different one.
Stone Cold was like that too. He didn't like to have his promos scripted. He liked to fly off the cuff. He liked to ad lib. Said everything was ad lib with him. He might have some bullet points when they go out there, but what he was saying was on the moment. Now
everything. Go ahead.
I love these crazy old wrestling stories, and I got a million of them. Especially for the modern era. Or I guess for me, the modern era was 20 years ago, but that was when I was the most watching of it or interested in it.
Yeah.
And if anything I watch now, it's from older than even that.
Right. All right, now let's get this on here. All right, let's see. There we go. All right, let me try to upload this again and see if it'll take it. Open without me having to remux the thing. All right, it's moving right on around. All right, process. Let's see. All right, now this is going a lot. Good, there it is. Okay, now before I play this, I want you to try to follow along with this idiot, okay, and see if the math works out. Here we go.
They say all men are created equal, but you look at me and you look at Small Joe, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at best at beating me. And then you add Kurt Angle to the mix, your chances of winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at Sacrifice, you got a 33 1/3 chance of winning. But I got a 66 2/3 chance of winning because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me, and he's not even going to try. So, Samoa Joe, you take your 33 1/3 chance, minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 1/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning, if we used to go one-on-one, and then add 66 2/3%, I got 141 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice.
That is gold. See, now that's wrestling done right, you know, because you sit there and you're like, well, wait, is that right?
Where did he come up with the numbers like that? I mean, he just
That's great. I can't believe I've never heard that.
it wasn't scripted, and it was mathematically correct. Everything equaled out, and it's because he's good at math. It just sounds crazy as hell. Okay, I believe you, Sir Clifton.
That is great. I can't believe I've never heard that.
Well, the one I downloaded, and I downloaded that on purpose. It's got the topography in there, so you can go along with what he's saying. But there's another one out there that's actually the promo, him sitting there blathering in the microphone doing it. But I thought this one here was much funnier because you could see all the numbers.
I like the numbers. I like the numbers. I was following along at home here.
Thank you, Rolo. He says, I can be proud on all the changes, and I can see that it motivates you. Yes, it does. And the University of Michigan Math, says Susudio. Yeah, he did go to the University of Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. Well, it's about an hour in, Jones. Thank you for coming. Thank you.
No problem.
I just wanted to just pop on for a minute, have a little bit of fun today, and I'm going to play some new end credits. There's not a lot changed except for a couple of music. Pop in the comments after this is over with, when the comment section comes open, and tell me where you think I got the tune for my end music from. And Joneser, stick around, man. We'll talk for a second. And everybody have a wonderful rest of your day, and absolutely have a good journey. Special thanks to the channel supporters. Without your help, these adventures would not be possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed today's adventure, please hit like, subscribe, and share the video.